Hello, I'm Keegan, and this is the Headspace podcast where we go at the Headspace. Today, I have a guest who's actually my sister, and her name is Susan. So, why don't you come in?
Hello. Do you want me to sit over there?
Yeah, no, you can come around here. Come
Okay.
around. Yep. Hey, so how are you?
Good.
How was the drive here? Was it good?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, wasn't it a hard drive here, or was it long, or what?
No, it's not too long.
Okay, that's good. How have you been? Yeah.
I'm good.
Why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? I mean, I already said you're my sister, but why don't you tell the audience?
Okay, so my name is Susan. I am a registered dietitian. I am currently on mat leave, but I'm actually starting work tomorrow. Oh, not tomorrow, but on Monday.
Mhm.
I went to school for nutrition, for a bachelor's in nutrition at Ryerson, or now called Metropolitan.
Toronto Metropolitan
Yes, yes.
University, yeah.
For nutrition for 4 years, and then I went to McGill to do a master's in human nutrition. And then after completing that, I did internship, which is all just mandatory required to become a dietitian in Canada. And after that, I came back to Toronto after spending a few years in Montreal for my master's and internship. Um, did started my career in diabetes, so did a year in diabetes, and then following I've been in pediatrics since then. Previously, I worked with babies and young kids for about 7, 8 years, and now I'm working in childhood obesity for the last year and a half. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to since I become a dietitian. So I've been a dietitian for almost oh 10 plus years now. Um, yeah, and it's a career that I love and I enjoy, and I love with working with different people and different families, and it's, it's fun and it's a very rewarding career.
Oh, well, that's good to hear, because I think when I was young, I was kind of confused when you said you were a dietitian. Like, I don't really
Oh,
understand what that meant,
okay. What did
because
you think it meant?
wow, I don't even know. I thought it was like you just like give people food to eat. I thought you were like a
Interesting.
cook or something. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
Do you want to
And
know a little bit more about like what dishes do?
well, I think I know now. It's just when I was younger, I didn't, which is kind
Uh,
of funny.
yeah.
But yeah, and you have two kids, don't you?
Yes,
And
I do. Yeah, two boys.
yeah, how old are they?
So if a big one, he's almost 5 years old, and the little
Mhm.
one is 1 years old now.
Yeah, so I'm an uncle, very very happy to be an uncle. Great to
Yeah,
see my nephews grow up. It's
yeah.
very nice, honestly. I remember when first one was born, he was so little, and now he can walk now. He talks. It's
But yeah,
interesting.
he's 5 years old.
Yeah, I'd
He
hope he can
walk
talk.
exactly. Yeah, no, they're growing up so fast.
Hmm.
Hmm.
But it's good though. I'm happy they're doing fine. Like their health is fine, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. I mean, I am checking on them all the time, but just
Yeah,
wanted to make sure,
exactly. Yeah.
So, what does your job entail?
Like the day to days.
Yeah, yeah.
So the dietitian's job day to day. Well, first of all, their dietitians can work in different settings. So you might work in the hospital or a community health center or clinics. But generally, dietitians see patients one on a day to day basis by appointment, or dietitians do educating in a group setting. So it's more kind of educating,
Mhm.
um, either one one or in groups, but it is the diet. It's not really giving a meal plan, or a lot of people might think that.
Okay.
It's more about understanding each person's like preferences, their personal health goals, what they already do and what we can improve from that. So we never aim for like a 360 change. It really is lifestyle changes in small steps. So a lot of people think dietitians must give diets, and actually most dietitians hate the word diet because
Yeah.
it's really diets are not sustainable. We really focus on um, small achievable changes step by step. So over time, a person is moving towards a healthier goal or healthier version of themselves, but it takes time, right? So, and we want it to be sustainable. So it's never a diet; it's more lifestyle changes that we kind of help people through. that journey or that process.
I mean, that's great. You're helping, and you said you worked with kids mostly?
Yeah, so families, of course, the kids is more working with the parents. So previously, when I worked with younger kids, it was more babies and toddlers. So I dealt with a lot of starting solids for babies, and then toddlers, a lot of picky eating, iron deficiency,
Mm.
so things like that. Now I do childhood obesity, so it's kind of kids from like 3 to 18, actually all the way to 18, on working towards a healthier lifestyle with their family. So often, if children are overweight or at risk of overweight, it's not really the kids themselves that is controlling everything. It's like the parents has to be the ones that's kind of providing the food, right? So it really is a family approach that we take, and we work with the families to help them to make healthier changes for their kids, but also for the entire family.
So do you think obesity is more the problem of the child or the adult?
The parents, you mean?
Yeah, yeah, the parents.
It's nobody's problem. We never blame anybody for that. There's a lot can lead to it, including like their circumstances the families are in, um, genetics, and just maybe some parents are just too busy or actually not knowledgeable. So, um, yeah, so usually we work with the families to educate the parents to make little changes that are doable and sustainable and um, actually realistic for the family to follow through. So it really is never like a boot camp where we're trying to starve the kids or make them do like so much exercise to force them to lose weight. It's more lifestyle changes for them to lead a healthier lifestyle. And in the process, they may lose some weight, but our goal often is for weight maintenance because as kids are growing, they are growing taller. But if their weight kind of maintains that, that's what we aim for. So we look at something called BMI percentile, and that's kind of more of a measure that we target. And again, it's for like the maintenance of that BMI percentile or lowering of that percentile. Yeah.
Ah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, because you don't want to like starve a kid while they're still growing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So when it comes to these adults, do you think that like stress from work and stuff would affect how they feed their children?
Um, um, yeah, I guess if you put it that way. I mean, um, nowadays parents are busy, right? Like most families are dual income families. And if the kids are young, there is so much going on, and parents are working from 9 to 5 plus their commute. Well, even for me, for example, I'm going back to work after mat leave. It's really hard figuring out this everybody's schedules, and then the kids are going to school with the drop offs. It takes a lot of time and effort. So food often parents want it to be quick and easy, right? You're coming home after a long day. You just want to feed your kids and get things going and get them to bed, right? So convenience is a key, and often what's convenient is food that are not so healthy or are more processed. So for sure that can contribute to it. But like I said, we work on small changes that we can do with those families. That is realistic for the parents' time. For example, we might suggest some pre-prepared meals or pre-prepared portions of certain parts of the meal that's done in advance so that it makes it a little easier and faster to put food on the table at dinner time. Or it can be, sometimes it may have to be takeout, but what are the healthier options that we can choose from? Or sometimes it really it's about portion sizes, right? Like so, making sure that every meal has some vegetables to lessen the amount of carbs or fat that's consumed in that plate. So it really is about like learning how to balance with the circumstances that's given.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that when these children are struggling with their weight, do you think like their parents put more stress on them or less?
Not sure what you're trying to ask there.
Like, do you think parents pressure their kids to be like a certain weight?
Some parents may, especially, depending on the culture. I know, like Asian culture, it's actually kind
Yeah.
of funny when the kids are little, everybody wants the kids to be chubby and fat, and people think that that's so cute and healthy, for younger kids to be chubby. But then when you're at a certain age, everybody, like Asian aunties would say, "Oh, you look like you gained weight. Maybe you should
Yeah.
lose weight." Like, so it's kind of funny, like culturally people expect that and put pressure on kids. For example, for myself, I was kind of a chubby kid growing up,
Yeah.
and when I was little, I remember being praised for finishing all my food or eating a lot. And then all of a sudden when I was a little older, um people would say like, "Oh, you're too chubby," and like, they didn't tell me to lose weight, but I mean, it was just, the remarks were very different. Like, it wasn't a good thing to be chubby anymore as you get older. So definitely, but sometimes it is not the parents. It's hard to say. It's to be society or just their
Mhm.
peers as well for kids, depending on the ages, of course.
Yeah, because I think everyone kind of upholds a certain standard to people for like their weight. I know a lot of people who struggle with their weight and they feel like society's putting so much pressure on them.
Yeah,
So, what do you think you would say to someone who's struggling with that?
struggling with their weight. Yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of people struggle with their weight. It's a very common problem. And and like I said, often there is, um like, how should I put this? Like, people have a certain weight that's good for their body, but it may not be like a size two model, what you see on magazine or what the perfect figure is. So everybody has a happy weight that's healthy for themselves. But if we all aren't happy with that and we want to lose weight to to fit into a certain mold, it's almost impossible for certain people. Do you know what I mean? I always say like, like a bulldog could never look like a chihuahua. It doesn't matter how much weight they lose, right? So everybody is where they're comfortable with, like, what they should be. But sometimes people who are maybe just a little, chubbier because that's the way they're built, and they see other people who are really skinny and they want to lose that weight, and they go in on a diet to try to lose weight. But what happens is that when you go on a diet, it actually slows down your metabolism, and they may lose weight initially but end up gaining weight afterwards. So then it becomes this yo-yo kind of
Mhm.
dieting cycle, but at the same time your metabolism continues to slow down. So over time, you can actually put on more weight than what you started with. So often,
Wow.
if they were maybe 10 pounds heavier than what they wanted to be, but after many, many dieting, they may end up being like 50 pounds heavier than what they are. So that's why, again, we don't push diets, because diets do not work. It actually causes the opposite effect. So especially with our kids, we don't want to put on that diet mentality. It really is about healthy eating, a healthy lifestyle, so that it also just changes your mindset towards food as well, to not view food as the enemy, or like you feel guilty about eating certain foods. Is more, um, viewing it differently, and for kids to develop a healthy relationship with food, so that, you don't feel that guilt to eat whatever you want to eat.
Yeah, yeah. That makes so much sense. 'Cause, I mean, like social media as well, don't you think that just creates an even more difficult standard to uphold to people?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, younger kids are getting access to it, so
Is that,
they're seeing so much out there. I mean, there is a lot of like body positivity, things out there as well, which is great, but
I
there's
mean,
everything on the
yeah,
internet, so it's it's hard to filter out.
did you I feel like body positivity is kind of like not as big as it used to though.
Really?
Like, yeah, in the past few years, like, did you see Lizzo like lost a bunch of weight?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but isn't it ironic? Because like before she was talking about how like you should be happy the way you are.
Mm-hmm.
Did she say that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about Lizzo's journey really, specifically, but yeah, some celebrities are working towards that. But I think it depends on their health. Some people are bigger, like I said, they're naturally bigger, and they live a healthy lifestyle and they eat well, and that's the way they are. Like, I think I definitely promote body positivity in terms of that, because we are all built differently. But if someone is actually having health issues, like, some of the kids that I work with, like high cholesterols or heart problems or diabetes, like all slew of issues that is related to obesity. If that comes to be a issue, then yes, maybe some weight loss is necessary. And now there is weight loss drugs that you might have heard of.
Yeah.
So some people are utilizing that because we're viewing it as obesity is technically not controlled in a lot of sense. It's by your genetics and things around the brain. Like it's actually kind of complicated. But if you treat it as an illness, like if you have diabetes, you take diabetes medication. If you have obesity, there is weight loss medication to treat it. But it's almost a lifelong um, medication as well. So yeah, so I sorry, I forgot what the question was.
I was just asking about like how the pressures of society make us want to lose weight.
Oh yeah, yeah, with the celebrities and things. So yeah, so a lot of them use the medications to help them, but also celebrities have money, right? So they can get personal chefs, so like trainers and stuff to help them lose weight. So they can do,
Yeah.
what helps them, but average people may not. So we need to have more of a realistic goal and yeah, just be do what is comfortable for us and also accept that we are different and we all shouldn't need to be a certain size or a certain weight. It doesn't actually work or make sense.
Yeah, that's so true. Like everyone wants to be the same, but isn't it our differences that make us unique?
Yeah, no, no, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's a good mentality to have.
Hmm.
And oh yeah, I think Ozempic came out a few years ago, didn't it? Or
Oh, came out a while ago. Yeah.
but it's been popularized recently, right?
Yeah, well, it's actually funny because Ozempic is a diabetes medication.
Hmm.
But because one of the biggest side effect is weight loss, so people think it's a weight loss medication. Although it is also a weight loss medication. It's at higher dose, it's a weight loss medication. So you can actually get that prescribed specifically and not Ozempic because Ozempic is more for diabetes. Anyways, it's yeah, yeah, it's a tool that people can use if they choose to, but it is quite expensive. So
Oh
yeah.
yeah, because I was thinking like because Ozempic is so readily available now, maybe that's what's causing less body positivity messaging because now people don't need to accept the way they are, they can just change it much easier.
Also,
Do you think?
Ozempic is not a magic pill. It's not like you take it and you're 100% to lose weight. Some people respond, some people don't. Some people lose more weight, some people lose less. And also, the most successful cases is often because they're also working on lifestyle changes. So, at my
Oh,
work, um, at the clinic that I also work at, where I see adults, we some people are on weight loss medications, but they're also changing the way they're eating and exercise, which helps them lose more weight and also be able to sustain and keep that weight off over time. The people that are just relying on Ozempic for a quick weight loss, they end up regaining the weight as
um,
well. So it really is not a magic pill. It is still a lifestyle change that you need to work on.
so relating back to mental health, how do you think that going through all these diet cycles would affect someone's mental health if they're doing all that?
Yeah. So I was talking about that a lot, but um I know you are more interested in mental health and diet and how that affects each other.
Mhm.
Well, I do want to mention I'm not a expert in mental health and nutrition, um, but it definitely comes into play because it's so prevalent. Many people dealing with weight issues have depression or anxiety around it. So for sure, it's almost always hand in hand. And people who like it's almost like a cycle because people who are depressed, they often don't think about what they're eating or they're forgetting to eat, um, or they're eating things last minute or they're binge eating. So, um, and because of that, they end up having health problems or being overweight or obese, and then that causes more depression and anxiety. So, it becomes a cycle. So when we work with anybody that also has mental health struggles, we definitely take that into consideration. And when we have goals or strategies, we try to focus on when they're having good days and during those time to do more prep so that when they are having those bad days or when they are running out of time, they're able to have like more healthy choices available to them so that they're not thinking too much about it at that time. Um, and also with like binge eating, for example, like if you have tons of I don't know, sweets or cookies around, then that would be the first thing that you want to binge eat, right? But if you keep your environment relatively with healthier choices, then maybe you would gravitate towards those things
A little
when you're
less.
having, yeah, or I'll help you control the binge eating urge a little bit more. But um, so yeah, so that's kind of how some of the mental health can play when um, in my work. But like I said, I'm not specifically dealing with mental health. Although I don't know if I mentioned to you in the past, but when I was in internship, I did do a placement in mental health just for a short time, but it was very interesting to see. It was at the CAMH, the Center for Mental Health in Toronto, with inpatients. So they had schizophrenia, depression for sure, anxiety, like any of the mental health illnesses. Um, and we saw them with my mentor at the time. So that was really interesting how nutrition fits into that and how food can be a part of also helping them heal because we used to do like even a cooking program for them to help them kind of regain control a little bit over themselves and like what they're putting into their body. So food is a big part of helping them heal and manage their condition.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I actually didn't know you worked in that the Cam H wing.
Yeah, it was very short. It was only like a month or so. It was really good exposure and learning. It was part of my internship, so I wasn't really working there. It was just kind of learning. But yeah, I will never forget that experience. It was very, very interesting. Um, but yeah, I learned a lot there.
Oh, do you have like any stories from there?
Um, so one of the good memories I remember from there was the dietitian there really kind of advocated for a cooking program with inpatients. So these are patients who, like I said, have pretty severe mental health issues. Um, and they were inpatient in at the center, which means they live there and they eat there and they get meals provided there. But the dietitian encouraged them to have a little cooking program. So we took them out to the community kitchen in that area where we bought the groceries with them and they actually prepare a meal for themselves to eat together. So it really took them out of the day-to-day routine a little bit. And these patients, like they were pretty severe, but they were um, it was really an activity that like, kind of cheered them up a little bit and brought them out of the norm or the day that they were in at that time. So they really enjoyed it because, like I said, food and nutrition is not just about diets or like illnesses. Is really about kind of enjoying it as well. It's part of your culture and part of just having fun, enjoying connecting with others. So it was really nice to be a part of that. I always
Yeah.
remember that experience.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't cooked in a while, but I do love cooking. I feel like it kind of gets your mind off of things sometimes, don't you think?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. A lot of people love cooking. But I cook so much that I don't see it as a hobby.
Oh,
But I still enjoy it because when you're cooking, it's if like especially when it's done and you feel a little bit accomplished and then you see your family enjoying your meal, that's I think that's the best part.
yeah.
And also you get to enjoy your own food too. So if you're a good cook, then definitely,
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I'm not, but
Well, you learn, right? You make mistakes with cooking and you get better over time, but it's definitely something it's important to learn though because you're eating every single day, 3 meals a day. So that's I mean going back to what I do with families, actually I really encourage children to get involved with cooking at as young as possible. It can be very simple things. Boys and girls, because sometimes I don't know why people think it's more for the girls to learn, but
Yeah.
especially boys, because boys eat more sometimes. So it's really great to teach them at a young age, so that when they're on their own, they can fend for themselves. Like you're not a great cook because you weren't encouraged to cook growing up, right? So now when you go off to school, you're alone, you're by yourself, you kind of have nowhere to start with versus if you were cooking like at 12 years old and you by the time you're 18 you already know how to make like at least like a dozen dishes, then that would have been a lot easier transition for you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it is annoying because I have school as well, and then I have volunteering, whatever, and then I
Yeah.
also need to cook. So usually I just end up buying like some Tim Hortons or whatever,
Yeah.
and that
But
kind
see,
of yeah
if
that
you, sorry to interrupt, but yeah,
yeah.
if you know how to cook, you could batch prep and it could actually be faster than going to Tim Hortons to buy something and bringing it back or yeah, so yeah, it is a process, but if you like kind of learned it and you know it from a younger age, it definitely helps you during those times and it saves you so much money as well.
Yeah, and like when I was talking about like how I don't cook that much, it also goes into school and my volunteering and stuff. I have so much stuff to do. It kind of goes back to what you were saying about how like parents don't have time to cook for their kids as much, so they just end up buying like McDonald's. I can see how that would, I kind of understand how it is, even though I don't have a kid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you have those stresses where you can't cook as much? Or...
Absolutely, absolutely. So, um, it's a struggle that everybody has. And if you're a student, you're busy with school, you're busy with studying. Although I would say that parents are definitely even busier. But you know, you'll know when you get there. Um, but it really it's a lot of effort to put into it. If you prioritize eating healthy, then you have to put those efforts in. It's not easy. It's not easy to eat healthy. It's much easier to just grab whatever on the go, right? But if it's a
Yeah.
priority for you, then it's means that you have to set some time aside to do some planning, making sure you get the groceries, but also realistic. You may want to have some convenience meals as part of the meals, like what would work for your family. If you have lots of time, for example, you know, people are making butter from scratch, then great, you do
Wow.
that for you. If you have that kind of time, but if you are busy, like for me, I'm going back to work with two kids, two young kids, and both my husband and I work. Um, you know, full-time jobs plus the commute, it is really hectic. So in our planning for myself, I kind of scheduled out, you know, Saturday mornings for him to take the kids away so that I can focus on doing some meal prepping where I may be like marinating the meat, for example, or pre-cutting some vegetables so that on weeknights when I come home, putting together dinner, it will be a lot faster. I can just throw in the Instant Pot or throw in the oven, and dinner can be done within like half an hour to 45 minutes. So that I'm not starting from scratch, which would take a lot longer. Or certain times I may buy some convenience meals. So even for me as a dietitian, I will buy like Costco, for example, has some really good pre-marinated proteins, so that you know it just makes the process of having dinner a lot faster, and we will eat out sometimes as well, but just, you know, trying to choose what we can. So there is no perfect way of eating or being 100% healthy. You do what you can, and that's the most important thing that you can do. So it can be, you know, someone going to McDonald's instead of getting the Big Mac with fries. Can be as simple as like getting the grilled chicken burger with some
Mhm.
with a side salad or some apple slices or something like that, or instead of getting the soda, to get a milk on the side, right? So making small changes that's doable, like that, you can't really have excuses for, right? Like if you're going out to grab food, at least making a different choice, right? You can do
Okay.
something little like that. Or if you are cooking, to change up the portions of what you're making, um, or if you're batch cooking, to you know do things in advance so that it's easier for you the day of or the moment of. So it's always little things to do, to help your life go a little smoother during those busy nights, but it's something that yes, you have to put effort and thought into it in advance, And some days may happen that you really can and you have to grab pizza or whatever, and that's okay. It really is about a balance and try to do the best we can. So for anybody, for myself as a dietitian, like I really don't think that, it's, well, maybe for some people it's doable to be healthy, super healthy 100% of the time. It really has to be what fits the lifestyle, fits the family.
Yeah, yeah. I guess that makes sense. So when it comes to being a mother, though, how do you think you handle the stress of that and your work?
Being a working mom,
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard. Like, um, I think society expects a lot out of women. Um, Often women are expected to perform at work, but also, I mean, I'm not saying all, but like a lot of the mothering or child rearing falls on the role of the mom as well. Um, so yeah, it's definitely harder. Moms just have to take on more, but uh, dads are making changes. A lot of the millennial
Hmm.
dads are doing really great and helping out, as my husband too. Like he definitely helps out around the house. Um, but unfortunately for me, like most of the cooking still falls on me.
Yeah.
Uh, so yeah, it is a lot of work and stress, but it is a balance and communicating with your partner and trying to balance things out, just doing what you can, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know if the mic will pick it up, but in the background that's her younger son.
Mm.
So hopefully it's not picking up 'cause it's
Okay.
kind of annoying.
Not
But
too,
yeah,
yeah.
if there are weird sounds, that's where it's coming from.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, so going back to your what you were saying, like being a mother is stressful. I mean, I don't know. I don't even have a kid. I'm not a woman either, so
Yeah.
but I can totally imagine like if I get married, I would try to help her out, do certain things so that
Yeah, yeah, for
she
sure.
doesn't have to deal with so much because I can see how it would be stressful, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, back in the days, like there, women are stay-at-home moms and men do the jobs, but now single income family is not possible anymore. So it's all
Yeah.
dual income. So if the mom is working, then that means the household chores should be done by both the parent as well. So it's things are changing, and I think a lot of the men's are stepping up or at least trying their best. So I hope the next generation, your
Yeah.
generation, does an even better job. Um, but yeah, it's always a work in progress.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope we can step up, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of guys are kind of lazy now.
I think
Like,
everybody can be lazy,
I guess so,
but
yeah.
yeah, you'll know when you get there, and yeah, you figure it out. But it's how it is right now.
Hmm. But when you do get that free time to like relax, what do you like to do?
So usually, I guess when the kids are in bed, that's when we usually get a little time to ourselves. I mean, I do what anybody does, scrolling on the phone, watching some Netflix. Um, you know, nothing too crazy, but um, you know, I'm
Right.
trying to think of like, I guess hobbies that I could. I feel like right now it's really hard because my kids are so little that I can't really carve out certain hobbies to do yet. But I am looking into it that very soon I'll be. I like going to exercise classes and things like that. So I will be kind of carving out a little bit more time to do a little bit more self care. I would say for scheduling and some time to do those classes with my friends and doing things that I enjoy. But right now, like it's just little slips of time, so it's just, watching some TV and relaxing after the day.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, even if you can get like 30 minutes to just relax, I feel like that means a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I mean, it must be stressful doing all that, but it's good to even get like 30 minutes just to sit around and relax, right?
Yeah.
So, aside from that, do you think being a mother has affected your mental health in any major way?
Yeah. Well, I guess you don't know these things. I guess I've never told you,
Yeah.
but when I had my first one, it was during COVID. It was a I mean, transitioning to motherhood is a big shock to anyone, but also going along during that time of where everybody was in quarantine, it was a lot of isolation. Um, with the postpartum hormones, I did develop postpartum anxiety and depression at that time. So when someone becomes a mom, they it's a huge shift in your identity, but also your hormones are fluctuating so much during that time, during that postpartum period, that it really messes with your head. So it's super common. I don't know if you know, 1 in 4 women actually get postpartum depression. Actually, our
Wow.
mom had postpartum depression as well after
Mm,
you were born. So it affects mental health hugely. So
wow.
it was a rough time, and over time, like I mean, I guess I should have talked to my doctor about it, but at that time I didn't. I kind of recognized that I had postpartum anxiety and depression. And for me, it was going out that really helped. Going out, getting out in the sun, getting outdoors over time. And of course, as the baby gets older, you're able to sleep a little bit better. That helped me kind of get out of um, that kind of that rut, I guess. But after you have had anxiety,
So after you had your kids, did you have any sort of mental health issues?
Uh, yeah, I mean, I guess I never told you this, but after I had my first one, which was in
Mhm.
2020, during COVID. So, I mean, anybody going through kind of that postpartum period, it's a lot to deal with. It's a huge shift in your hormones, so you're more prone to postpartum anxiety and depression. I don't know if you know, like 1 in 4 women actually experience postpartum depression. So, um, why I mentioned 2020 is because it was COVID. So on top of those postpartum hormones and those feelings, being isolated and being quarantined at that time also contributed a lot to it because I am a pretty social person. I need that social contact. So at that time, I did have postpartum depression, anxiety. I was having insomnia at the same time. It was definitely a rough time, and it was hard to go through. But yeah, but it's I'm not alone. A lot of women experience that during that time. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know so many people went through it. You said 1 in 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, wow.
Could be more. I mean, that's reported.
It's reported, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy, honestly. But you got through it, right?
Yeah, I mean it's I'm just sharing my experience, but yeah, some people may benefit from talking to their doctor, and some people may be getting treatment. But for me, is when I kind of recognized that was the issue, and getting outdoor for me, and getting the sun, just having more of a daily routine again really helped me, because when you have a new baby, it kind of feels like you are living the same day over and over again, especially if you're indoor a lot and you're just losing track of time. It definitely messes with you a little bit. So for me, it was kind of getting that routine back, going out, getting the sun, getting some exercise, and of course, eating well and eating regular meals. And focusing on myself a little bit, that kind of helped me through it. But I mean, it never goes away. I feel like certain times I still have kind of cloudy days, or I get those feelings again. But for me, it's just like recognizing it early and doing something that I enjoy to get me out of that headspace. So, and when I'm feeling those feelings for like a day or two, and I know I'm a little stuck, I'll ask my husband to like watch the kids for a little bit so I can go out for a run. Like that always helps
Mm.
me to go do some exercise or go for a run. And it really helps to, like, I think for me, getting it out, like getting outdoors and sweaty helps me get out of that space, and helps me feel better. Um, but yeah, everybody has their own journey, and everybody figures out
Okay.
what works for them.
Well, thank you for coming today. It was a great talk with you, and I'll see you next time.
No problem.
Take
Thanks for
care.
having me.
Bye.
Bye.